I've decided between builds I need to do a little cleaning up in here. Mainly this right here, the folding table underneath this box, all that stuff was on top of it. And this 2 RC airplane projects that have stalled indefinitely. And I kind of had to create this box, and then I need to create yet a top for it, because there is one wing mostly built in there. And then what you can see here on top, this is actually the elevator for the other airplane. The other airplane is a 1 to 3.5 scale Slingsby Segberg glider that the Royal Air Cadets use for training. And that's just the horizontal stab. So one wing on that thing is like 7.5 feet long. So 15-foot wingspan total. Anyway, that's all getting put aside for who knows how long, maybe the remainder of my life even. But I'm tired of this stuff being in the middle of my floor. It's hard to work around it. Even my rolling office chair, I bump into it a lot. So that's getting taken care of. And then some of the stuff underneath the workbench, I'm reorganizing and looking at what's there and what I can get rid of and what I might need later. And then you can see this is mainly the area where I do the model building. And then my laptop is off to my right. Since I'm right-handed, it just makes it simple. And then the spray booth is here. But it's a little cluttered up right now. With the diorama build going on, I had a lot of things going on at once, so there's a lot of clutter on the desktop. So before I do anything else, I need to get this stuff straightened out and cleaned up. I'm kind of one of those people that I need a clean environment to work in. So that's what I'm doing now. I finally have some room to move in this room. I still gotta find a place for, well, the table needs to find a place. The 3M box, that's actually furnace filters, so that'll disappear soon. These are more flat boxes, and I've got some on this wall. I'll probably just stick them with those behind the door. That's good enough out of sight. That closet has more, oh gosh, the empty kit boxes from recent builds this year are in there. There's more RC crap in there. I've got some electronic stuff in there for the HO Railroad that I have in another bedroom. And then this skinny little closet here, this is where all my balsa wood is. And then there's parts of airplanes on top. There's sticks. There's flat sheets. Oh, there's also plywood on that top piece. And then on the very bottom, there's a few old kits, RC kits, and some other model rocket junk. I've got crap everywhere. But like I said, at least I can move around here now. All right, the next big thing is to declutter the desktop. Do something with all that. Make it a little more organized and user-friendly. I didn't really do any modeling this week, but I did add a few new tools to my workspace, and I wanted to share that with you. This first one, this is going to replace my trusty old Dremel. It works fine. It's a little large and bulky for doing the plastic model work. I mainly used it quite a bit on my RC model building, so those were a lot bigger aircraft to be working on. And as you see, I even had the right angle attachment for it. But Hobby Dude 007, Mark Batson, on his channel, he introduced this to me a few weeks back. So I looked for it on Amazon. The TacLife PCG01B Power Tools Rotary Tool, and it's cordless. And as you can see, it's a fair amount smaller than my old Dremel. So there's, side by side. That's quite a difference. Much easier to get into smaller spaces with this. And it's cordless with 3 power settings, or speed settings, I guess. So when you initially turn it on, it comes on kind of fast, but then it drops down. And you can hear it, it's not very loud. And there's your second speed. And your third speed. And it's rechargeable through a USB port. And it comes with the cord, obviously. And it even comes with this little kit of bits and tools. Because you got your collet, you got some grinding stones, some sanding wheels, or drums, I guess they are. There's a brush, some cones. There's actually, let me see if I can get this out of there. Yeah, look at that. So there's a grinding wheel, little bitty one. So, and it was a good price. I just checked the prices again earlier this week. I actually got this a couple weeks ago now. But I checked the prices earlier this week, and this was current as of about 5 days ago on Amazon. So you can head over there and get yourself one if you're in need. I think that's a really good price compared to what you would pay for one of these. And like I said, the size really fits what we do a lot better, I think. I love my Dremel. I've got a lot of bits and uses for it. But when it comes to plastic modeling, I really do think this is going to be a better match for it. And then the other thing I got, let me show you that. Well, first, let me just tell you about it, because I'm going to take the camera off the mount to show it to you. A dehydrator. Now, a lot of guys are using them to rapidly dry their paint jobs. And by rapidly, I mean, so you're not waiting a week at a time. You may be waiting 24 hours, 36 hours, but not for a week at a time to get paint to cure. So Barbatos Rex, if you're aware and familiar with his channel, he does a lot of paint reviews. He's more of a Gundam guy, and he has his own paint lines, but he reviews all kinds of different paints. And every now and then, he will review a new shop tool or product and bring that to the masses for their opinion. So let me take this off the mount and I'll show you. Hold on. Okay, so this one, this is from Keenstar, Keenstar, Keenstar. I also bought this on Amazon, and like the rotary tool, I checked the price on it this week, and it's still at a good fair price on Amazon. And I had been on the fence about getting one of these for a little while because they're generally $100 plus, and I just didn't feel like I really needed it that bad for that price. But Barbatos Rex showed this one, and it's right at about $80 on Amazon. And in his video, he goes through the whole thing, what makes it better than some others, and why it works so well for our needs. Now you'll see it lays. Oops, sorry, I'm hand holding the camera. So it lays this way with the motor in the back, which draws the air out that way. And some dehydrators do a top-down kind of vacuum on it, and this works better for our needs because you get more of an even flow of the air across your parts or model, whereas the top-down, you may get better drying at the top layer of what you have in the machine over what might be at the bottom layer because the bottom is being blocked by whatever is above it. Whereas this, if you're using the shells with smaller parts, they're all getting an even airflow across them. And it comes with, all right, you can see in here, I've got one of these metal racks, and there's 8 of those. And then this plastic mat that goes on those. you might use 3 or 4 of them maybe at a time if you're putting several small parts in there. I don't think you'll ever really use all of them. You got, what is that, a little over an inch maybe between racks. So yeah, you probably would never use all the racks at one time, although you might, I guess, if you're doing small parts, a lot of small parts. But anyway, if you've been on the fence and looking for one of these, they're on Amazon, and here's the most recent price. So get yourself one before they disappear or the price goes back up, if you've been thinking about it. And part of my cleaning up was trying to make room for this thing, which I'm still not sure this is exactly where I want to go with it. So let me step back here a minute and I'll show you the overall view of the shop again. All right, so you can see that table with all the RC stuff on it was right in this area here. Now I've got quite a bit more floor space to move around in. And you can see the spray booth here, the dehydrator next to it, my laptop next to that. Well, that's the diorama sitting there, but behind it are my storage compartments for model kits, when I break them down into separate components, and then the main workstation there in front of the calendar and the storage bins. But I'm not sure that that's going to be the permanent home for the dehydrator at the moment. I might try to find another cart. All right, you can't see it very well here. This 3-drawer cart here, I might find another one of those and set that dehydrator on the top shelf. That's my compressor right now for the airbrush. So I might do that so that the dehydrator can sit underneath the bench top, a little bit out of the way, because it does take a fair amount of space. And when I'm painting, sometimes I'll stack parts over here to my left of the spray booth, and with that there, I won't be able to do that. So yeah, I got to put a little more thought into this. Maybe we'll see. But I wanted to share those with you, and hopefully you guys can take advantage of it. I did a little bit more reorganizing, and you'll see that the dehydrator is not sitting there where it was. I actually found a better spot, really, without having to buy another cart. So right here next to my bandsaw, which I really don't use anymore, that was for RC building, scratch building mainly, and this area next to it, all this junk on the bottom, some glues and, I don't know, Ziploc baggies, a label maker, some markers and pens, just a bunch more junk ended up in this spot. So I thought, well, move it out of the way. It created the perfect space for that dehydrator. So now I think I'm all set up the way I want it to be. The one thing I still need to mess with is my primary workspace here. All of the things here in the back, those are office furniture kind of organizers. And, I bought those thinking I would save money over the purpose-made hobby organizers. These work pretty well, and they're probably half the price of what you pay for some of those other things. But I don't know if it's really working the best for me. So I got to figure that out. So I have good lighting in the shop. Let me back up a little bit. All right, these are all T8 light fixtures. Right here in the center of the room, there was a small ceiling fan with a couple of little lights. That was the only light in this room. It was a small child's bedroom. So when I converted it, I took the ceiling fan out. The fish scale and hook is actually to hang and balance the RC sailplanes to make sure I had the center of gravity correct on them. Of course, the scale helps too. Anyway, so when I built the bench, these lights are directly over the bench to minimize shadows when I'm working on an airplane. However, I have noticed that working in this space here now, with me kind of leaning over with my visor on, and my head tends to get in the way of some of that light, so it does create a shadow. And that's what this small lamp here is for. But it's not big enough to get up and out of the way, so I still tend to hit it sometimes. So I have ordered a new light that will replace this, that'll sit on the back edge of the desk, and it has long enough gooseneck that it'll come over the top, and it'll cover that entire space. So I think that'll work a little bit better for my needs, and we'll see that probably in the next week or so show up. But yeah, so that's what we ended up with. I've got more space here next to the spray booth like I had before. The dehydrator is in a good spot. So yeah. All right, that's going to do it for this week, y'all. Take care. Be safe. Peace and love.
I've got a vision so clear in my head. It's a strange kind of